Ryan, do you think Pizzagate is real?
The whole theory of, we're the only things on the planet that pay to be here.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all, we got a good one coming up today. Another hour banger for you guys. We got some post office. We got some popping off in Iran. And we also got Erica Kirk back in the news. Seems like she's in the news every month. Y'all, every time there's something to sell, she pops up in the news. But with that being said, let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the video. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. Really helps the channel grow. With that being said, let's get into it. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
I'm going to show you. So you clap your hands 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then use your right hand to cup the elbow, this part, 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do the right arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then use your right hand to cup the armpit of your left arm 9 times by putting your hand behind your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And do the right side. 1, 2,
I mean, it can't hurt. If you got heart disease in your family, it can't hurt.
and then repeat 8 more times. Total together 9 times. Make sure you cup, right? You don't use your flat palm to hit that hook.
Even if you don't, once a day, morning routine.
To go deeper into the tissues, use the vibration to help to open up the channels. In our hands, we have 4 energy channels, meridians, connecting directly to the heart. They're all in the hands. That's why clapping the hands, clapping these areas, it can help to enhance the circulation of the heart. If you don't have any heart problems, by doing
So, have you seen what's happening in Vegas? There's videos going viral right now showing that's a complete ghost town. Like, there's absolutely nobody out or vacationing there. And at almost every single hotel, employees are getting laid off, except for Aria and Bellagio. And you have hotels like Excalibur that fired employees and shut down their buffets. And there's rumors that executives either stepped down or resigned. And this is all after hotel fees, parking fees being raised twice. But yeah, this is how it looks right now. Look at this. Look at
Alright,
this.
we're in
Like,
Vegas.
absolutely nobody.
This is
Look at
supposed to
this.
be the city that never sleeps. But
It's
there's
crazy.
like literally no one around here at all. And on our
Like, it's just
all
a
of our
ghost
walks
town.
pretty much tonight, we've seen nobody. So I don't know. Is Vegas slowly dying out?
Wow. Now there's a bunch of speculations on why Vegas looks so dead, but I want to know why you guys think Vegas is dying. Because usually around this time, it is so busy.
You heard about this?
I mean, it's busy 24/7, but one or two things killed Vegas. One, the greed, right? Prices are through the roof. The greed. And 2, online betting. People don't got to go to Vegas no more to get that dopamine hit. They're getting it 24/7. They're losing all day. You think they want to go to Vegas now to lose more? They just do it at home now. Plus, it costs an arm and a leg to go out there.
Largest stone moved in modern times is 340 tons. They call it the largest operation of its kind since the Egyptians built the pyramids. They had to custom build a 260-foot long trailer truck that consists of 196 semi-truck wheels. It took 9 days to move this 340-ton stone. The largest stone moved in human history is at the Ramesseum. It's the Ramesseum statue in Egypt. It's 1,000 metric tons. This stone, Los Angeles County Museum of Art, is 1/3 the weight. The stone at the Ramesseum is 3 times heavier. The academics, they say that the stones would have been moved on tree logs. And it's not an unreasonable guess. If I had one thesis, it's that the true history of mankind was more advanced than what we were taught in school.
He's a fisherman. He said after a certain time, being on the shore of the beach is dangerous because that's when they arrive and they take people with them. Point blank period. And everybody's compound on the coast got electric charged wire on top of the fences, barbed wire, and they all got these signs, danger. And everybody got their security. They say after a certain time it get dangerous. Be inside the gate. Don't go to the water because, none of us can swim good enough to get you back from them. I spoke to a guy. He said he went for a night swim, and when he got back to shore, he was standing there with his towel, and he looked, and he seen a merman standing there.
Shit.
The hair was not like you see in the movies. He said he had these large black eyes, and he said he got this compelling feeling to go into the water.
Mm.
And he said he glad he fought the thought, because he said he felt like if he did, nobody ever see him again. And when I went to Puerto Rico, the locals said the exact same thing. Exact same thing.
There's videos now in Mexico of people that are given the same description.
For sure.
Recently, that just happened a few weeks ago, that they seen one that walked onto the shoreline.
That's
It
the
walked?
thing.
It's got legs.
Apparently, the males don't have the fish appendage at the end. They got legs, but they have webbed hands and webbed feet.
Okay.
So this is the description everybody's getting.
Okay, so I am at QT, and when I look to buy something, I see a price. For everything, I have prices. I come over here, my drinks, everything is priced. My chips, remember this number, $2.69. Remember that.
God, it used to
Let's
be
go
$1.
the Indian gas station next, or Foreign Run. Also, here, gas is $2.19. I don't know why that's flickering, because it's doing it on camera and not on the sign. All right, now we are at our Foreign Run gas station, $2.39. Let's go inside. But as you see, that now we're in this Foreign Run gas station. There are no prices on anything. They'll put this here. That's not a price. No price. No prices. Oh, I want some candy. No prices. I want some more candy. No prices, but they will charge you exactly what they feel like, and this is how the American people are getting robbed on a continual basis. It never ends. You don't know what you're paying, so they're going to charge you what they want.
Ryan.
Now that was in Texas, I'm guessing, because his name of his channel is 911 Austin Home Services. So I'm guessing it's Texas. That's why I say don't just pick on these Democratic states. They're doing it everywhere. If you really want to do it right for the people, right? Don't do it for the vote. That's what makes me think this dude in Minnesota, he's paid for, right? He's paid for. Why isn't he going to these Republican states and exposing them? Why is he going to go to California next? Now, I agree, go to California, but also hit some Republican states. Show him that it's not just one side, it's everybody. Guarantee he won't do that. Guarantee he'll be on the stage in 2028 when it's time to do voting. He's going to be endorsing Trump. Guarantee it, y'all.
Pizzagate is real?
Or the next president. Trump's out of here.
I can't be sure.
Maybe.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I'm not really a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
If sometimes these conspiracy theories become real.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I saw evidence of it, 100% I would say it. But I don't know for sure, so I can't say.
I get that. I get that.
What is this kind of temple doing under some guy's farmland?
I've found so many subterranean worlds, temples, caves that are absolutely beyond explanation. This is just a farmer, right? 20 feet up, he's just plowing the fields. Look what lies beneath his farm. This is an article found in a Pennsylvania newspaper describing a temple found in Missouri. We found ourselves in a room hewn out of solid limestone, 35 feet wide, 50 feet long, and 30 feet high. There are 12 columns in the temple. Between the columns on each side of the temple and on each side of the arch are set in the wall blocks of polished gray and black granite. It is undoubtedly one of the greatest curiosities of the age and is attracting the attention of archaeologists. You never hear anything else. The articles go blank.
This person thinks that this is going to go down as one of the greatest finds in history, and then of course it disappears. How did they mysteriously die 2 years later, perhaps?
The deeper you go, the crazier the things they find.
There's a part of Schaumburg, Illinois, I'm dropping a name, and they redid this one part of all the streetlights, and they're completely purple.
Ooh, to see how the light affects people?
Well, I was with somebody with the poke, and I'm not kidding you.
It glowed?
It glowed. Now they're gonna lie and say it's not true, but it was a fresh poke. There's also something called luciferase.
Oh, interesting name, huh?
Luciferase. These lights show up in different cities, and it's weird. I'm just saying.
This is the
You know, I had that light where I used to live when I first moved out here. The whole street was purple and blue. The whole street, y'all. The whole main drag, and that drag is busy. Traffic on that drag.
Water used in one ChatGPT prompt.
All of the water here is unusable after this, which means entire gallons of water become unsafe every minute.
As you can see, the water is constantly being pumped a liter every second.
Stop using AI or we are all doomed.
Clear, quiet conditions until the fog rolls in. We've got some sea fog out there. We'll have some radiation fog forming over the land as well. So some radiation fog forming over the land as well. So some radiation fog forming over the land as well. So double whammy fog-wise tomorrow.
In 33 hours, we have made historic progress. 33 to be precise.
For 33 hours, I was dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his legs.
Blocking the roadway on Portland Avenue, midway between 33rd Street and 34th Street.
A refugee camp killed 33 people. The strike.
Do you think it was fine to delete 33,000 emails? I don't think so. She said the 33,000
Trump was winning back then.
2-year investigation that resulted in 33 indictments
From the House Oversight Committee of 33,000 pages.
Right in our face.
33,000 pages.
Struck a fence, and the 33-year-old driver was taken to the hospital.
In Moline, police say a 33-year-old woman from Moline died after a crash. Criminal complaint in this case. It's against 33-year-old Michael D. Stover. The local agencies. Of the 33 children found.
More urgent. Dallas police need your help finding this woman. She's 33-year-old Crystal.
Right there about 1:30 on US 33 lanes, as you can see in both.
Like Final Destination.
Since George H.W. Bush was in office 33 years ago. Not shoot her, but rides the elevator up to the 33rd floor.
Now, Renee Good in the Minneapolis shooting had 3 kids whose ages add up to 33. Also, Renee's name has a 33 in it. The Twin Towers began vertical construction in 1968. From the time that vertical construction began in 1968 to 2001 when the Twin Towers were hit, 33 years. How much did they claim that 3i Atlas weighed? Over 33 billion tons, or approximately 33 trillion kilograms. December 18th, 33 people were pardoned. They told us that Jesus was 33 when he passed. 33. 3 faces, 3 more faces. Also pray for me because my name was searched in Israel recently.
Now, what do they always say? What have we been saying for the longest time? Like the the images, it's going to be their downfall. Help me out, y'all. Leave it down below. What was the word I'm looking for? The images are going to be their downfall, right? They're getting exposed. They're on the way out. That's crazy.
The reason why everybody was in shape during school when we were in high school is because you had structure. You ate 1 meal a day for 6 hours, right? Then you went home and maybe had dinner, right? You have to kind of treat yourself like that. You have to have structure and routine. Not saying to starve yourself, but you got to just stop eating just because the food is there.
It's true. Good point.
They put him on Plum Island, and he had said very openly that he believed an incredible form of biowarfare was infecting ticks. And that's what Lyme disease is. And then it shows up 25 miles away. And by the way, that's not the only thing that showed up close.
They're looking for the bloop. That Malaysian flight that had like 230 people went missing, right? They went missing on March 8th, 2014, 239 passengers and crew all gone. They're now doing another huge search in the southern Indian Ocean. They're just spending millions of dollars now searching for greatest mystery and probably in all of aviation, using underwater robots, deep sea drones, and advanced scanning. I saw some people commenting they're looking for the bloop. 1997, a mysterious sound was detected from 3,000 miles away inside the ocean. That's like when you're in New York hearing a sound from London. Like it's 2 different microphones, 2 different locations, 3,000 miles apart.
Did it happen like at the same exact time, or did it span?
Louder than any animal or creature ever could make. Antarctica.
Oh.
Yeah. They claim it was a ice shelf of a glacier breaking off underwater.
Okay.
But imagine it's just a fart noise. That's it. That's the story.
You gotta watch this.
Me to my adult years or leaving home where I could really try on something different for myself. That was Satanism. It's working out really well. I made a pact. The movie came out so well.
Subscribe for more videos like this.
Okay, so if you don't know, the protests in Iran have essentially turned into a full-blown uprising. On January 10th, demonstrations exploded across all 31 provinces, with protesters hurling Molotov cocktails at regime buildings, police stations, and even mosques tied to the Islamic Republic. The trigger? A collapsing economy, a worthless rial, which is their currency, and a regime that answers peaceful anger with live ammunition. Now Iranians are fighting back. They're firebombing bases, they're torching IRGC outposts, and setting government offices on fire in cities like Tehran. It's not just protest anymore. I mean, it's quite literally a revolution. Regime prosecutors are threatening death sentences for anyone caught burning state property, but that hasn't stopped millions from being out in the streets protesting, and many of these people hurling Molotov cocktails at regime buildings and infrastructure. They want the regime gone, and it seems they're willing to do a lot to make that happen right now. Donald Trump has said that he's got his eye on what's happening and that he supports the people of Iran. So we will see where this goes. I'll work to keep you up to date, but that's all I got for now. Just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter. I send this out every morning. Great place to get direct information from me. I cannot be censored there. The link is in my profile. So just go to my profile, click the link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now. I'll see you in the next one.
Bro, Tom Brady. Did you see what he did?
No. Cloned his dog?
Even, bro, watch. This is the worst one. I didn't even post about it yet. Tom Brady, one glove. This is on Sunday night, dude.
Why did he do it? That's O.J. Simpson. But this is O.J. Simpson stuff.
One glove. Who's playing? Do you know who's playing behind him?
No.
The Buffalo Bills. That's who O.J. Simpson played for his whole career. Except 1 year. Bro, That's Bills crazy. Are playing Sunday night. He's the announcer. He's so in the game, Tom Brady. It's ridiculous. I don't. He's for sure is not human.
Bro, but how can you be a 45-year-old and be the best quarterback in the league?
Oh, dude, you can't.
It's impossible. 45-year-old, bro. And he's not big.
Apollo, I'll tell you right now that I see all this stuff, like when he throws the ball, they don't try to tackle him. They don't, they're rushing him. They don't try to tackle him. The guys are so open, and then when he catches the ball, they make believe they're trying to play. Of course, I could do the same thing.
Yeah, man. Yo, all these buildings like castles? Yeah. You think they built them? Or they found them? Probably found them, right? Have a good day, buddy. He knows.
He knows.
So you got that thing that's probably not a castle. This thing, they're going to say is not a castle. No, it's a church. Church, castle. They don't care. They don't care. They just pray we don't find out. They pray they don't watch Make It Make Sense with Big T. That's what they pray for. But this thing is wild, man. And you heard that kid. He goes, yeah, they probably found it. Yeah. No crap, buddy. Thanks for being smart, man. What does this say? What does this say? Bunch of Latin, huh? Look at that.
Look at that,
Who's that guy? Frankenstein? Maybe it's the founder of Princeton.
They found this
First
stuff.
graduate. Who's that? Oh, Parakeet? Griffin? Come on. Uh-oh. Who goes there? Come on, man. I'm a little baked, and it was a cold day earlier. Those guys look white, right? There's so many buildings from the 17s, but the 1915s. Not castles, and these things. Princeton, what were you doing back then? Come on, man. Come on, man. Make it make sense. This place is wild. Look how far into the ground it goes.
Yeah.
Look. Make it make sense, Princeton. Now tell this tour and harass the tour guide. I'm like kidding. Make it make sense.
If I told you that all of the continents are actually connected and you can get to Africa through the Grand Canyon.
I'll do you one even better. What if ancient Egypt wasn't a place, but a frequency? and it was in America all along. TikTok, this is only for entertainment purposes and educational purposes only. Anything I state in this video is a mere coincidence. Alright, so you already know based off my previous videos that there's evidence that leads me to believe that America is really ancient Egypt and that the Grand Canyon may or may not be able to lead you straight to Africa, like she said. So many US cities mirrors Egyptian names. Coincidence? Accident? Memphis is in both Egypt, Tennessee, and Missouri. Cairo is in both Egypt and Illinois. Alexandria, Virginia, Alexandria, Egypt. Thebes, Illinois, Thebes, Egypt. I used to think that the Mississippi River was the Nile River, but then I seen a lot of people saying that the Colorado River is actually the Nile River, so it got me thinking, did you know that the Colorado River flows through the Grand Canyon? And why does National Geographic call it the American Nile? It makes you wonder. Okay, so remember when I said the maps were flipped? The Nile flows forward in Africa, right? But did you know that there was an ancient Colorado River that flowed backwards in America at one point? Mirrored hemispheres, mirrored timelines. Okay, so keep up. All right, so boom. You know how they say you can get to Africa by going through the Grand Canyon, right? But what if you wasn't meant to get to Africa by going through the Grand Canyon by way of land, but by frequency match? Okay, now stay with me. By the way, TikTok, this is only for entertainment purposes only. What is the Grand Canyon mostly made of? Red quartz and crystal sandstone. Yes, the Grand Canyon contains a significant amount of quartz, a key component of the sand and sandstone and redstone. Yes, rocks and crystals like quartz store energy, but primarily in a scientific sense as stored chemical, vibrational, and potential energy due to their atomic structure and physical properties. Vibrational energy. Molecules within the rock store energy that contributes to its temperature. Potential and kinetic energy. A rock can store potential energy if it's lifted or kinetic energy if it's moving, just like any other physical object. Quartz is a piezoelectric mineral, meaning it generates electric current while under pressure or when under pressure or struck by heat, sound, or electricity. Okay, so the Grand Canyon is one of the most lightning struck places in America. The Grand Canyon National Park averages 25,000 lightning strikes per year, a dangerous phenomenon. Okay, so what if this isn't just weather facts? What if it's part of the Grand Canyon's energy architecture? Every lightning strike charges the Grand Canyon like a battery. Yeah, following? Okay, so what if each strike energizes the crystal matrix beneath the surface, and then over time, it builds and stores a resonance that can only be accessed by beings aligned with that frequency. This is all entertainment purposes, by the way. Okay, so now what if the lightning activates hidden layers of information stored in the stone? I hope I didn't lose y'all, but have you ever heard of speaking stones or stone rocks? Speaking stones are not a scientific phenomenon, but a concept where rocks are used as a physical medium to carry or embody words, stories, or messages, sometimes referencing rocks that have been inscribed with text or used in installations to honor history. Mechanism. The rocks resonate at a specific frequencies when struck, creating a clear musical tone similar to a bell. Alright, so every time lightning strikes the Grand Canyon, it awakens this frequency grid. The Grand Canyon is literally a crystal battery in a Stargate. Whew, I'm glad I got that off my chest. And TikTok, this is only for entertainment purposes only, but it makes you wonder, why are there so many people going missing or missing cases of people disappearing in the Grand Canyon? Yes, there have been many cases of people disappearing in the Grand Canyon, with the park holding the highest number of missing persons and fatalities among all U.S. national parks. While many missing individuals are eventually found, either alive or deceased, a portion of them vanish without a trace. So what if ancient Egypt wasn't just a place, but a frequency on the Earth's grid? Anybody with me? No?
Okay, so what? I mean, how did they? I mean, just look. What? Ah! Sorry, allow me to compose myself. But this has got to be some of the most impressive architecture ever. I've seen some impressive window frames, but this one takes the cake. And you want to tell me it was designed just to look good? Ah, hell no. No, this work of art must have served a purpose. Window frame seems to be based on a Semitic pattern. Was it literally manifested through sound vibration? Not to mention the intricacy witnessed beneath. Hammer and chisel, donkey and cart, my ass. Oh, by the way, this so-called medieval church is found in Nuremberg, Germany. Nuremberg's great, by the way, not too big, but full of old world, advanced-looking architecture. Look at these statues that look as if they've been 3D printed. Look at the size of those doors compared to an average-sized person. Now we're inside. One, because it's raining outside, and two, to see this window from the other side. And you see that giant organ just behind, very conveniently located, with the sound vibrations being generated, projected through that window frame. And did this whole building serve as some sort of healing center, raising everyone's vibrations in and outside? As always, got the giant-sized ceilings, and that's the coolest chandelier I've ever seen. This church dates all the way back to 1250, being completed over 200 years later in 1477. Or was it built faster than that with some sort of lost technology?
All right. It was, y'all. There's no way. Right? We're learning his story. Right? We're learning the winners. We don't hear the losers' history. We hear the winners. Now they say the winners came. They didn't come around until 12,000 years, and they came from caves. But there was already something here, y'all. There was already some lost technology here, well before them. And this is the stuff. And the winners took over, found it, and they said they built it with chisels, horse and buggies. It was already here, y'all.
Now we have the news in Florida talking about, again, what they said, a fog. We'll get over to the pink skies in 1 minute, as well as some completely unrelated weird radar stuff. We'll start this off first with this guy saying how this is just totally out the normal.
All right, so it's crazy foggy right now. But that's not the weird part, okay? Like, number one, it's weird because as it gets later in the day, fog should lighten, dissipate, and it's really not. But the weirdest part is the taste and smell.
Pretty wild, right? Before we get to Birmingham, I want to show you guys how the fog is showing up as rectangles and squares on the radar. Completely unrelated. Just how cool is that? What could even cause that?
Clear, quiet conditions and local fog rolls in. We've got some sea fog out there. We'll have some radiation fog forming over the land as well. So some radiation fog forming over the land as well.
It's like we're living on a whole new earth full of things we have never seen before, right? Now I'm sure a whole bunch of people ran to the comments and were like, oh, it's the stadium lights. It's the stadium lights. And that is partially true. Patience is a virtue. When they upgraded the new lights to this new hue it can causes, but nowhere near anything like this.
Oh wait, look at that sky. Right, that's not normal, is it?
This goes on for miles around Birmingham, and let me tell you exactly why. The fine particles in this very weird fog that's covering the entire Earth is refracting light everywhere, making this phenomenon probably 100 times what's ever been before. This fog is making strange things happen all over the place.
This part isn't Charlie Kirk. It isn't even TPUSA. The strangest part is the lineage behind it. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind War while stationed at the Presidio in San Francisco. Not a self-help book, not a political rant, a blueprint for psychological warfare, mass persuasion, narrative control, cognitive terrain. And Aquino was also an open Satanist. He never hid it, never denied it.
Aquino and his wife, you are a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army.
Correct.
Now, and how does the Army feel about you being head of the Temple of Set?
The Army has known about my religion for the entire span of my Army career, which began in 1968. And there was a reasonable amount of curiosity, as there has been all the way along, with what exactly is this strange and unusual thing. And I've talked about it in much the same way that I've talked here today on your show about it. And other than that, the Army has paid very little attention to it, the same as it would to anybody who is, say, a follower of Hinduism or of Buddhism or any other slightly unusual religion today.
So you just go about your Army duties and it's fine and okay? Yes.
Now here's the part people skip past. Aquino didn't write Mind War alone. his collaborative with retired Major General Paul E. Vallely. Fast forward. Vallely sits on the board at Turning Point USA. So take a step back. Strip away the merch, the slogans, the crowd noise. What is TPUSA actually doing? It's not just debating ideas. It's persuasion at scale, changing minds, moving groups, steering perception. And when the same people tied to a psychological warfare playbook are embedded inside a movement built to shape mass belief, coincidence stops being a useful explanation. This isn't about symbols. This is about methods. Because mind war doesn't care what flag you wave. It only cares that you don't notice you're waving it.
Hey guys, does this look familiar to anyone? Oh wait, this is what everywhere in the United States looks like. Just corporate bullshit slop everywhere.
Everywhere. No
With,
more small businesses.
Strip centers and parking lots. It's a beautiful thing.
Fool. Does this story confirm that the U.S. is working with some aliens, aka demons? So according to some Venezuelan guards, they said that U.S. had some unknown technology. They said the U.S. military, when they invaded Venezuela, they had some shit that they ain't never seen before, they ain't never felt before, ain't never heard of before. They labeled it as unknown technology. And you already know for years, people been saying this shit. They said all their radar systems shut down like that. Power out. Then they was talking about some drones that the U.S. used. Then they said something else was deployed. Not a weapon you can see, but a weapon you can feel. They described it as an intense sound wave. They said it was so powerful that it felt like their head was finna explode from the inside. Then they said some men was bleeding from their nose, some was vomiting, and then a lot was collapsing. And when they fell, they couldn't get up. We fall down, but we get up. But they couldn't get up though. They said it was about 20 U.S. soldiers that overwhelmed hundreds of them. So I just want to know, what the hell do the U.S. got up their sleeve? Because like I said, this man been talking really crazy, fool. And it's not just
Really
him
has.
talking crazy, he's doing crazy shit too. Next thing you know, he finna take Greenland. And then what's after that?
So, does the U.S. Postal Service know something that we don't? And why do I say that? Because they issued a letter to both their employees and contractors, a letter that they have not given out since the pandemic. You heard what I said. The letter that they issued to both their employees and their contractors is a letter that they provided back in 2020 for the COVID pandemic. And the letter that I'm referring to is right behind me. It was issued to its postal employees and contractors on January 5th of 2026. The subject line reads, "Postal employees continue to provide essential services." And remember, the key word is essential. The letter also states inside that during large-scale emergencies, epidemics, emergencies, or even civil unrest, states and localities may issue curfew warnings and other directives such as restricted travel. So basically what the letter is saying, that if anything like that occurs, postal services are governed by federal law. So therefore, that places them in the essential category. And what's weird about it, the letter goes on to state, even though it's dated this year, that employees and contractors should carry this letter with them to and from work and as they work. And it also states that it's critical that all postal employees and its contractors carry their identification at all times. And it also goes on to tell them that if they encounter anyone, such as law enforcement, that stops them while they are traveling, they are to present this letter to them. So the question we need to be asking is, what is actually going on, or is possibly going to allegedly be happening, that this letter was issued with this year's date back on January 5th. Now, I know people will say, well, that's a standard issued letter. Okay, so if it's a bulletin, then it's a bulletin that they will just have, and in the event of something happening, they'll just have to get a copy of it. Am I correct? But why reissue it in the year 2026? So once again, the terms travel restrictions and essential employees are back in the year 2026. So once again, I guess my question to you is, what is going on or what is about to occur. And if anyone out there is an employee of this right here, hit us up in the comments and let us know if you received that letter and why you received that letter so we can get some clarification. I will leave it on this note. Hit me up in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you. Here's a copy of the letter. I'm going to put it on the screen so you can screen grab it and read it for yourself.
Question: does the NFL really give you a script? See, now you done put me in a hard place because I know I'm not even supposed to answer this. But yeah, so they at least gave me a script. I don't want to speak for nobody else. I don't want to speak for the team, but they gave me a script, and unfortunately, when I read it, during camp, I'm like, bro, we can only win 3 games. Like, I was pissed about that. So yeah, like when I seen that script, I was definitely mad because I knew what was going to happen all season, man. I hate when they do that. Tell us what to do, what's going to go on, how the season's going to go, because they're like, yeah, man, you got to pack your bags up early, Cancun, Cabo, whatever it is. But, here's the script, bro.
He was like, if you haven't had a U.S. government agent come to you and say, stop, shut the fuck up, stop, shut the fuck up. If that hasn't happened, they're going to let you do it. They're waiting. There are SSP motherfuckers that are fucking twiddling their thumbs. Like, is Amy not going to publish soon? Gah, we've been influencing this bitch forever. Doesn't she know we want her to publish? Jesus. Like, there's multiple people doing that right now. And on the other side of the fence, there's multiple parties looking at each other like, didn't we tell this bitch 3 years ago that we kill people for this? Is she not listening? What is she doing? She's still doing it? What? We told her we were going to kill her 3 years ago. So I have these two different scenarios floating constantly in my life where I have people being like, do it, do it, do it. You're the one, do it. And then I have multiple people being like, they're going to kill you. Don't do it. They're going to kill you.
So the internet sleuths have dug up an old CIA documentary, and Erica Kirk is in it. Check this out.
We have 5 major threats that make our grid extremely vulnerable that we've presented to congressional officials. 1 being cyber, 2 being hackers, 3 being physical threats, 4th one is solar EMP, and the 5th one is man-made EMP. So the concern that we have is that we put out this critical information, and when we go over this risk analysis, they hear what we're saying, but they don't want to take action.
Okay, so apparently this clip is from a documentary called Black Start USA, and Erica Kirk, née Francevy, appears as a presenter or briefer on a topic of electromagnetic pulse, EMP threats, and vulnerabilities in the U.S. power grid. She is shown briefing or addressing a group of national security professionals, experts, and figures, including former CIA Director James Woolsey. The footage depicts her delivering information about potential EMP attacks which could originate from high-altitude detonations or other means, and the risk of the coordinated physical attacks that could lead to widespread blackouts or grid failure. This is framed in the context of discussing Black Start protocols, the untested procedures for starting the power grid after a major disruption. Wow.
20-something, she's a very young woman.
She's 24, he's 40.
Yeah, that's a big age gap, man. That's like, and again, I'm not suggesting that is by definition problematic. I don't see it that way, but I just feel like the difference in life experience, the stage of life that they're in, it may be very profound. But again, same thing as I just said about Nikki Bella. Like, if it really is like a bounce back, if it's like a feeling of like, hey, I want to remember that I'm not that old. I want to have a good time. He's still a super handsome guy, super successful. Again, try to be a little realistic about what's really going on here and where the two of you are in different life stages. Because one of the things I have seen many times is a 20-year age gap when you're, in your 20s and 40s or your 30s and 50s, which is more common. When you're 60 and the other person's 80, like that's a completely different thing. And you end up kind of becoming this person's nurse a little bit. And that's hard, that's hard. But
What does a 50-year-old, what is his conversation with this 21-year-old? Can you imagine? Like, you see what the universe is putting out to young men, right? Date young, get an 18-year-old. Like, I couldn't imagine a conversation with the 18-year-old. What are you talking about? I couldn't do it, y'all. But that's what social media propaganda is teaching us to, date young women. Like, it's weird. That's what YouTube is. All these dating, podcasts and all that. Grown men dating young 18-year-olds. It's so weird, y'all, but that's where they're pushing us. What's next? Under 18? Is that where they're heading? They're just prepping us with this and then going to that? I don't know, y'all.
Why Donald Trump wants Greenland? Because there's an accumulation of intrinsic resources due to the fact it's the crown chakra of planet Earth, which is the head of Turtle Island, that was connected to the Atlantic energy grid system that was also connected to Hyperborea. Now, the European Commission and the Smithsonian, they found critical raw materials that gives an intrinsic power to the Rupus Negra, which is also known as the land of magnets, that leads to an interstellar vortex portal to Hollow Earth. Now, you have to watch the movie Greenland and Greenland Part 2 that comes out today, because it's showing you the science of the end times, which is a form of eschatology. So when you get into the metaphysics of theological context, when you go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, it says a new heaven and a new earth by way of the unlocking of the Pleiadian light lock when you go to Job chapter 38, verse 31. Now remember, I was telling you that the Trump administration is playing both sides because the implementation of the republic can only be cultivated during the time of the sun cycle, which is why you cannot have a democracy and a patriarchy during the time of the sun cycle, because that's connected to the Aquarian age, which is the restoration of the matriarch. So that's basically like breaking universal law. Tonight, you have to watch Greenland Part 2 because it's going to give you the metaphysical blueprint of what's going to be taking place in the future. It's showing you the destruction of the Piscean age of darkness as you step into the Aquarian age. It shows you the new heaven and the new earth at the end of the movie. You got to watch the movie Greenland Part 2. It comes out tonight.
No one here has ever had a real banana. Google a real banana and look what it looks like.
What the fuck?
Right? Everything's fake. It regenerates blood cells if you eat real food.
It's all eating
Alright,
candy.
so like holding
eating
in
candy.
your semen and sperm and not busting a load for a solar cycle for the whole summer regenerates blood cells and you maintain your youth. It's like stronger than fasting.
Now I've been doing that too. I've been on.
That's why they make us bust so many nuts. They don't want you to live 500 years.
Well, this is concerning and should put everybody on alert because the U.S. Postal Service has not issued a letter like this since COVID. So the letter basically says that all Postal Service employees should carry their essentials letter and their ID to bypass any travel restrictions. So what's coming? Here's the letter. Take a look.
I don't know, y'all. But would you be shocked if something like that happens with what's been going on lately? It wouldn't be
Do
a
you
shock
think
to
he
me.
actually viewed his role as part of this sort of timeline adjustment team? Tim Taylor, yeah.
He was the one who told me to watch the movie. He said, that movie was created for a reason. Watch it. It's a lot like that. And in that movie, you'll find a character named the Hammer. And he said, and I work for the Hammer. And the Hammer works for God. And I'm like, hey, you got to tell me more than that. And that's all he would tell me. He said, I work for the Hammer and the Hammer works for God.
Do you think that he's in touch with a celestial being, with an angel?
So you handle the important things. Well, the last time I checked, the world's a pretty screwed up place.
It's still here. If we'd left things in your hands, it wouldn't be.
He insinuated that, and I can probably believe that. Something.
Yeah.
Whether it's an angel or what, I don't know.
I had this one lady who came to me. She was from California. She was a singer, and she was scared of Egypt. She didn't know why. Well, before the session, she didn't tell me, actually, she was afraid of elevators. She has a phobia of elevators or being in closed spaces.
Okay.
And she brings snacks with us in case she gets, like, stuck. Just, like, really wild phobia. And a lot of us have these phobias, but we just think it's so normal that we just go through our day-to-day with it. But with hypnosis, we can help alleviate it. And so in the session, she ended up going to Egypt, and I actually directed her to Egypt because I wanted to figure it out and help her. And she was a priestess. She was a very beautiful priestess with all these beautiful priestesses, and she would do rituals and spiritual. She would sing like she does now and perform with her rituals. So that was a cycle or pattern that she was into. She reported the priest or the pharaoh being extremely negative and mean. And one day she stood up for herself, put her foot down, and said, "You can't do this," and said, told him off. And but back then, he punished her. He punished her for speaking her truth, banished her to the dungeon where she was stuck in a 6x6 room. It was cold and musty. She died of starvation, explaining what? Her phobia of elevators and Egypt, being afraid of starving. Right?
Anybody who thinks that hospitals are safe places is living in an illusion. Even the best of doctors know that as soon as you're done with a procedure, as soon as you're done with your medical care, you better get the hell out of the hospital. The hospitals are the #1 place to catch some of the deadliest conditions. The #1 cause for death in hospitals, a pulmonary embolism, is due to remaining in the hospital immobile. We know that hospitals are the 3rd leading cause of death in the U.S. There are up to 400,000 preventable medical errors that occur inside hospitals every year. That's like a jumbo jet crashing every single day. Yet some people have this notion that due to some imaginary allegiance to, I don't know, the medical profession, perhaps doctors they have in their family, whatever it may be, that stating this truth is somehow problematic. And it's funny because even the #1 individual for overseeing medical care in the US, specifically the FDA, his name is Dr. Macri. He's the one that wrote the actual article and book on the fact that 400,000 deaths in the US that occur every year are preventable. He published it first in the British Medical Journal and then later on in a book. Even he knows this is true. The question is what we're doing about it. And the only place that's doing anything about it currently are attorneys inside of courtrooms. People that die due to these medical errors have no foundations. They don't have charities set up to help them out, like cancer patients or cardiovascular patients do. What they do have are huge teams of insurance companies and attorneys that are ready to fight them head on for 5 to 10 years, even if the wrong leg was removed during surgery. And that's the reality of the situation we're living in today.
This guy has sold out his state to Somalia. Look at the state flag. It's no longer the flag of Minnesota. It's quite literally been transformed to be more like the flag of Somalia.
Oh, this Clearwater hotel thing's becoming like a cult classic. So we had a guy on the live podcast. He went up to the roadway. This is 19 in Clearwater. Got video of the rooms all full of bunk beds, dark though, and a random security guard just sitting in a dark car is very weird. Now people are going to get in their own surveillance. And of course, all the theories, right? The government stuff, the Scientology. I mean, people have been sending me property records. There's some wild stuff out there. There's no doubt. Well, now I guess there was a photographer who apparently was photographing people who were photographing the hotel. Just throw that in the mix. I'm just giving you what we're getting.
Supposedly, they didn't even raid the Epstein Ranch, Zorro Ranch. And I don't know, I was following this girl and she's talking about it, and apparently they're putting up like a cinder block wall. And I don't know, this is wild. Like, how do you...
I don't think that she at all had any connection to that. When I see that, it's like you're victimizing the victim, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, she did lose her husband. She lost her kids. Like, I was just with her at the White House, and she's, that's anyone. If that happened to your wife, my husband, like, it's devastating.
She lost her kids.
Apple's weather app was discovered to not be showing 69 degrees Fahrenheit to anyone, anywhere. You can look up a city right now that's 69 degrees and then open the Apple weather app and it'll say 68 or 70. It refuses to show you 69 in the current temperature, in the forecast, and the highs and the lows. It just won't do it. Okay, Apple, like, it's not that serious.
Yeah,
like, really,
no,
spending extra energy coding to not show 69? What are you, that anti-meme? Like, is that seriously where we're at right now?
They control everything, y'all.
Hey y'all, so I came on here because I wanted to talk about this. A lot of people think that industry plants are only in the industry, but there's a lot of people that is planted within our neighborhoods and our communities just to collect data upon us. A lot of people think, oh, they're in the birds, you know, the birds are drones, they're in the TVs, they're watching us through their phone, which is true, but they don't need all that. If they really want to get it, they can pull up themselves. All right? A lot of these homeless folks ain't homeless. They watching you, studying you, listening, observing. You ever had somebody come in your neighborhood and you seen them a couple of times around? Hey, y'all seen that new guy? Yeah. Or you seen that new girl? Yep. Had a conversation with her, even kicked it with them a couple of times. Then all of a sudden they just move, like vanish out of nowhere. Like, dang, where'd he go? Nobody even seen them move or nothing. Stay there only for like a month, maybe 2, and just disappear. Ain't never seen them in the neighborhood, the town, never again.
Now I remember there was one time, y'all, at my old house here in Texas. I was outside washing the car. No, actually I wasn't. I was inside, right? And I saw the postman, right, on the little Ring camera across the street. And some dude rang my doorbell and he looked like he was wearing, the postman. So I went and opened. I thought it was the postman, right? So it was a guy that was actually selling stuff. So I was like, fuck. So he was, trying to promote his business of pest control, right? I had a lot of ant problem, a little fire ants. So I walked out, to the street with him and, I asked him, started asking him questions and just real sketchy, y'all. So I was like, well, can I get a business card, right? I had people working on the house, laying hardwood floor in the house, right? So I said, let me get a business card. I'm busy right now. I don't got business cards. So I said, well, let me take a picture of your brochure, right? He only had one brochure. He didn't have one to give me. So I said, let me take a picture of it. So when I went to take a picture of it, he grabbed it and he took off running, right? Weird. Now, I don't know if this guy was trying to break into a house, was trying, like if it was my woman that opened the door, maybe something bad would have happened. He took off running, went across the street. I ended up calling the police, but I don't know what came from it. I don't know who that guy was. It was weird. I just wanted to take a picture so I can get his information because I was seriously interested, right? Grabbed it, took off running. Very sketchy, very weird, y'all. Be careful who you open the door for. I would have never opened the door, but I thought it was a postman across the street because he was across the street. My mailboxes were across the street. Same color uniform, navy blue. Sketchy guy, y'all.
Plants, they are there to collect data. Open up your eyes. It don't always got to be in the entertainment industry. It happens a lot to us each and every single day. This world is a stage. Even in the restaurants, all these fast food restaurants, if y'all pay attention to their logos and how the symbolism is within their restaurants, even big restaurants, Cheesecake Factory have a lot of symbolism. Y'all don't know. Bye.
Them purses in the back do too.
I bought a $35,000 chain.
Yeah. But you just knew you were
It's that hell yeah.
Put yourself in that situation where like I gotta make more.
Chain made me feel immortal. Like if I didn't have that chain, I swear to God, I don't feel like that chain made me want to go out there and get it because I wanted more and more and more.
For hustlers and go-getters, you know?
A dealer is literally gonna get a chain and hustle harder.
All this.
See the people they put on these podcasts, right? And we saw a Tekashi video in the past where he's saying, we're told you don't want to do that interview, you're doing it. This is what you're going to say, right? They're told to say these things, right? I bet deep down he wishes he can tell people like, man, save this money. I'm sure there's some reckless people out there, but I mean, there's no way he wants to influence the people this way. There's no way. I mean, you got to be some evil type of person to mislead people like that, right? I think they're told what to do and it just gets so deep in them that they just start doing it. They start believing it. I don't know, y'all, but somebody out there like on these famous podcasts telling you these negative things to do with your money. I got my first $50,000 check. First thing I went and did was bought a $35,000 chain. Like what kind of knowledge giving to the people is that, right? And then there's another idiot. Yeah, that's a hustler's go get it mentality. Like, no, that's a dumbass mentality heading to nothing. He's going to be broke by the time he's older, right?
With a guy named Edward Bernays. He was the guy that invented the term PR. And he changed the term from propaganda to public relations. He's the reason our butter or margarine got dyed yellow. He's the reason that we think bacon is part of an American breakfast because the pork industry needed to sell more bacon. He's the reason the Department of War was changed to the Department of Defense. He's the reason that women started smoking Virginia Slims back in the 70s when it was inappropriate for women to smoke. So he organized a parade called Torches of Freedom, where women would go and smoke in the street and just say F you to everybody. So he was the biggest propagandist probably in the last 400 or 500 years in the world. This guy invented all of these processes to shape perception and change how people behave. And he was actually Sigmund Freud's nephew.
Made this whole documentary on Thomas Townsend Brown, and at the end of the documentary, I make this connection that Tim Taylor told your son, Ryan Bledsoe, that he was part of a secret time travel group in Nassau in the Bahamas, and that Thomas Townsend Brown was the president. And even then, maybe I would have dismissed it out of hand, but I had become this amateur historian of Townsend Brown, and he would always go to Nassau.
He told me he'd heard stories of these little things coming and landing in his yard and getting out and giving him information.
That's real. Well, at least according to his daughter, she talked about beings coming down, then entering. I think it was like they were in the kitchen with her dad and her, and they were these sort of pale skinned, looked alien, like looked from like they were from another planet or had existed in another environment. They talked all night, and then they wake up the next morning. She thinks it's a dream. 2 nights later, they're at dinner, and she brings up the dream, and Thomas Townsend Brown goes, "That wasn't a dream," or something like that.
Right, exactly.
Did he ever insinuate on what the Nassau group, this time travel group in the Bahamas, was doing?
He didn't. He just told me at one point that he thought I may have to go hide out there a while.
Really?
That was
in Nassau
when it really first happened, way back.
Can somebody please explain this statue?
I've never seen that. It's in New Jersey. Is that legit, y'all? Same, be
Freedom
quiet.
Towers, where the Twin Towers once stood, and you got this
Is that real? Why have I never seen that?
directly facing this. Okay, come on, tell me that doesn't. What? What is that?
Football has become such a mammoth idol that someone like me who loves football, I think I'd be good if this thing was over. All the dancing that's in football now, this is very feminine. These guys can't make a routine play without breaking into dance. The discipleship model that used to be in football that I think has been destroyed. The head coach and his assistant coaches, they were there to disciple you and instill their values into you. If you look at football now, the entire conversation, it's all about how you can be tolerant of whatever the young men bring to the table. If they all want to tat themselves up, if they all want to wear their hair in styles that are feminine or unprofessional, don't complain. It's all about, can the coach relate to the player? We don't understand the ramifications of it getting more and more feminine. We want to disrupt the patriarchy. We want to uproot male authority. If Roger Goodell and the NFL goes down in that process, I'm going to applaud.
Has Shia LaBeouf?
I mean, it all changed for me. I don't know if it was last year. I think it was last year, y'all. Pittsburgh was playing Baltimore, right? We know those battles back in the day, right? I'm talking a little bit about sports. We know those battles back in the day. Ray Lewis, Troy Polamalu, James Harrison, right? Ed Reed back there going at it, battling, right? 9-6, the final. Defensive games. Well, last year there was a Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, and at the end of the game, y'all, Pittsburgh and Baltimore players were on the field, like in a circle, signing jerseys, laughing, and I was like, God, this is what it turned to, y'all. No more rivalry, no more energy, no more passion. Could you imagine Ray Lewis, Ed Reed sitting on the field with James Harrison and Troy Polamalu sitting around signing jerseys? It would have never happened, y'all. It would have never happened. And that's what it turned into. Everyone's friends, everyone's this, everyone's that. You know, they help people up. They lay back on hits, you know, because they're friends. And Turned into a circus, y'all. It's always been one, but man, at least back in the day, they were a little better at hiding it. Now it's all out in the open.
Trying to tell us something.
An FBI consultant on the picture telling me that they can use your ADT security box microphone to get your stuff that's going on in your house, or OnStar, they could shut your car down. And he told me that 1 in 5 phone calls that you make are recorded and logged. And I laughed at him, and then he played back a phone conversation I'd had 2 years prior to joining the picture. The FBI consultant. And it was like one of those phone calls that was like, what are you wearing type of things. So it was mad weird. Wait, so you mean they had a record of you from 2 years prior to me joining the picture? Even being associated with the movie. Well, that seems extremely creepy.
I also want you guys to keep in mind that Shia LaBeouf was blackballed by the industry at a point and was having severe mental breakdowns.
He's a good actor,
to the point
man. I
where
like him.
everybody was
In
painting
Fury,
him as crazy.
he was
but
bad
you
in
start
Fury.
to wonder if he really
Holes?
is. I also found this clip.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats whole.
Ironically enough, you see Megan Fox in that same video, a whole nother rabbit hole, going shh, shh, shh. Must just be a total coincidence that anyone who has ever really spoken up has been silenced in one way or another. Comment below, let me know, am I onto something or am I tripping? Wake up.
So some people are a little bit upset at me right now because I posted a video about the Minneapolis shooting. And everyone's like, come on, your content's better than this. You don't actually believe this, right? No, I'm not falling for the traps. I was simply showing everyone the extent that the president will go to manipulate and lie to everyone. The number 33 comes up in multiple places surrounding this story. We all know what that means when we see 33s coming up. It's their code. They brought up the fact that this same ICE officer was in an incident last year and needed 33 stitches after allegedly being dragged by a car. So we know that that didn't happen, and we also know that this didn't happen. They said that the Minneapolis shooting happened near East 33rd Street. The shooting occurred on the 33rd 100th block, and this witness who lives near 33rd in Portland. And even the victim's name has a 33 in it. Just flip the picture upside down and it's right there. She also happened to be a mother of 3, a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 6-year-old, which adds up to 33.
Clips.
And how many
y'all.
ICE agents approached her vehicle? 3. So don't get this thing twisted. I don't fall for the bullshit. So I might sometimes talk about these current events, but I in no way believe any of it. If I am talking about something that just happened, I'm pointing out the manipulation tactics that were used on you.
This is the truth, okay? White families, broadly speaking, get to pass down land, wealth, property, business, safety. Black families, again, broadly speaking, pass down survival skills, trauma, how to avoid getting killed by the police talks, pain, distrust. That's not 200 years ago. That's yesterday for them. That's yesterday for them. You understand? Here's the truth, dog, okay? Trauma does not disappear just because the calendar moves. Trauma gets passed down in families the same way eye color and height does. A grandma teaches her son how to survive in a world that treated her like she was less than human. That son teaches his child. The fear, the resentment, the distrust, it becomes culture when society never truly fixed the root.
Do you know that there are people in the world that when they think or when they read, they don't hear a voice in their head?
Yeah, it's weird.
I can't imagine that.
And you want to know something? Not only like when you're thinking about like how to rationalize or how to
there's
comprehend,
no voice.
Dude, when you don't have a picture to correlate or a voice to hear, like that's why most people can't comprehend what they read.
So I have a surprise.
The whole theory of, we're the only things on the planet that pay to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you never heard that? Oh, we're the only
wow,
only
that kind
species.
of just like bringing tears to my eyes.
Yeah,
That's sad.
Isn't it? We're the only ones who pay to be here, dude. We can't just be here anymore. Like no animal pays to be here. They're just here on the planet.
No, I'm like that's actually like making me emotional. That's sad. That's a sad existence.
It's strange. We pay for everything, and the things we're paying for, like most of them, like the things we need to survive, are free, right? Like water, we can't collect rainwater. Right? Food is free. If you think about it, it's free. Shelter. I mean, look how a bird makes its shelter. He comes and steals our tree limbs, our stuff from the floor that we drop, comes and takes it and goes home and builds its shelter. Right? Like water, food, shelter, the 3 things we need to survive in this world, everything else is nonsense, are free, right? But they capitalize off it because those are the 3 things we need.
Those actors, they age weird.
Well, they separated the seasons by years. There was like big gaps in the season. That show was really difficult to make, apparently.
I mean, those kids grew into some bizarre looking people. So you ever watch Stranger Things you brought? That's based on the montage.
Did you know Will's gay?
No.
Yeah.
Every time you drink too much, your soul steps further from your original divine blueprint. Most people don't even know it. So what happens in the spiritual world? If you drink too much alcohol, it fractures your light body. So what looks like a buzz in the physical is actually a micro tearing of your auric field, reversing your Merkaba spin and opening portals for astral entities to enter your light body, the sacred vessel of your divine consciousness. The first line of defense against entities literally becomes compromised.
It's a bunch of BS because America is the only country in the world where able-bodied people check their EBT balances on their $1,000 smartphones and then use that smartphone to tweet about how oppressed they are.
Chinese people don't eat. You never see salads.
Oh my goodness. I never see Chinese people eat salad.
I've actually been thinking about this week I eat so much salad, which is like
I love
anti-Chinese.
salad.
I know. It's a very American thing.
It's like the one thing that I think is good for me to eat.
So it's
Do not
really
tell me salads are not good for me.
They say it's not good. Why? Because uncooked, they love greens. Chinese love greens, but you're supposed to cook them, warm them, because cold vegetables you can't digest, right? What does it make you? It makes you bloated, gassy. So never mind, it makes you big.
There you go. That's why I'm doing carnivore now, y'all. I've done keto. I've gotten great results from keto, and I'm always craving food. I still feel bloated, man. I'm feeling good, y'all. Today is day 9. We completed 8 days on not carnivore, y'all. I'm not gonna say strict carnivore. We're doing like ketovore, right? I like jalapenos with my steak. I like onions in my eggs. I like buffalo sauce on my chicken wings. Certain type of seasonings, right? I'm not full carnivore, but 95% carnivore, y'all. If you guys are interested in that content, I posted a 7-day update yesterday while I was out on my hike. That's going to pop up over here, y'all. Check it out. Go over there, subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of today, y'all. Just go over there, hit that subscribe. We're going to be posting weekly updates, right? We're going to be posting some TikTok reactions to carnivore type content, full days of eating, grocery hauls, recipes. I cooked a carnivore pizza yesterday and things like that. And a lot of shorts going to go on over there. And I'm probably going to start going live over there, just strictly, doing Q&As and talking with the carnivore community, y'all, because I'm feeling very good on it, y'all. Very good. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming, y'all. Finally clicked. Just like the alcohol clicked for me. One day I had it, next day I didn't have it. And hopefully this is what's going on with this food now. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna get going on my second channel now. We're on the grind, y'all. We're on Mama Bear's home now. Mama Bear's home with the baby now, so I have a lot more time to bang out these videos, y'all. So we're gonna get going on the second channel. It's gonna be about Disneyland prices, how it's crazily overly priced, y'all. So we're gonna do that right now. Hope everyone out there had a good weekend. Hope you're having a good Sunday. This video will be up this evening. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Later.